My name is Jerome, and I work for Aditi Consulting, and we've been using Freshdesk for almost close to 3 years right now. The product is fantabulous, and it's very effective for us on a day in and day out when we look into the productive side of the business. Before using Freshdesk, but first of all, let me just give you an idea about the organization. So the organization which I work with, we had a very limited staff, and we operate with them. And over the course of time, we felt that it would be good if we scale up. So that's one of the reason why we wanted to bring in a product which could help us out in terms of automation, because the higher your team size is, the work gets more critical. And obviously products like Freshdesk really help us out in bringing that the criticality to a lower level. It minimizes the criticality because most of the process is automated, and definitely it helps us on a day in and day out. We have been using Freshdesk. That's a ticketing product which we have been using, and apart from that, we also use Freshservices, which is primarily into the ITSM side. Yeah, the best thing about Freshdesk is it's more user friendly, and it's pretty much self-explanatory, meaning even a layman who comes in and he wants to look into the product, he will be able to make use of it, because things are very simple, and there's not much we have to go in detail in explaining things to the users, because it's going to be very simple tool to use, not much of complications. And it also has a lot of integrations with your communication tools like Microsoft Teams or Slack and so forth. So and we use Microsoft Teams, so it's pretty useful for us, because we don't have to switch products or tools, in fact, to communicate with people. Rather, we can do it using Freshdesk itself. And from an ITSM standpoint, to be honest, we actually didn't had an ITSM product. I mean, we did had a product which can help us out on controlling the inventories, keeping track of those inventories, but frankly speaking, we didn't had an ITSM product which could help us out more efficiently in controlling our inventories and so forth. And once we looked into Freshservices, and to be honest, we also demoed a few other products as well, just to ensure that we get the best in the market, which would be more cost effective as well as which would be more simple. And we felt Freshservices was much more efficient, both from a cost perspective and as well as from a work perspective as well. So and ITSM seems to be a seamless tool for us. Freshservices seems to be a seamless tool, because that gives us more insight about the inventories. It gives more analytical reports which can help us out to plan or strategize things for the future. Absolutely. So we're pretty much in line with the tagline what Freshdesk uses, because initially we didn't have a ticketing system, and definitely once we brought in Freshdesk, ideally it made the customers or the users, in my case, more happier, because they have a proper channelized process, because now they know that if there is an issue, then they can just reach out to us through an alias, and then we get those tickets, and since it's been tracked properly, we would be able to give a resolution on a quick turnaround time, and at the same time we would be able to communicate with them in a better way, because they explain things to us in a better way through the proper channel. And of course we gather those informations in the right way. So once we get it, it's very easy for us from a troubleshooting standpoint as well to provide the right resolution for the issues what they have. And of course, as I said before, the communication is much more seamless, because it's been integrated with our communication channel. So that made people more delighted, because ideally they do not want to follow up multiple times. They do not want to kind of check through things. They do not want to kind of keep repeating themselves to us in order to get things fixed. And of course, when you have a team size of more than 1,000 employees, it's really tough for us to keep track of things in mind when we hear it from a communicational tool or something of that sort. A ticketing system definitely helps us in keep track of all these tickets, give them proper resolutions at the right time. And also from an analytical standpoint, we get a lot of reports from Freshdesk, which gives us actually more insight about what efficiently we can do, or things where we are going wrong and how effectively we would be able to rectify those errors to ensure that we would be able to give a very seamless solution for the users. And that makes us as an agent to be more delightful, and at the same time that makes the customers also, in this case the users, more delightful as well, because they feel it more happy when issue gets resolved on a shorter span of time.